topic that has come up recently a lot is the idea of boundaries. And boundaries are hard to describe from a neuroscience perspective because it's kind of a social, psychological construct. But the way I see it is that on the one end of the spectrum of what our nervous system and somatic nervous system, skeletal muscles, all of these systems, how they work together in order for us to have certain behaviors that we use within our interactions. On the one side of that spectrum is almost like a shutdown, like an immobilization type of element to what our systems are doing. The vagus nerve is really closing down on the heart, it's slowing down all systems. And that is an important aspect of intimacy and connection, because when we are with somebody that we want to be with, there is a level of wanting to stay there and not be mobilized into a sense of wanting to escape or fight, obviously. Within that realm, there is a level of what we could flavor with compassion and gentleness, because it's really the opposite of aggression and violence. And we need that. We need that towards ourselves, and we need to have that in our relationships with others. The issue that I see in a lot of psychotherapeutic and particularly trauma healing circles is sometimes we neglect the side of us and what's needed sometimes within us of the other end of that spectrum, which has a violent or even aggressive type of element to it. And that is a protective strategy. So that would be falling into the realm of the sympatho-excitatory type of circuits, where the vagus nerve, the nerve, lets go, and it lets go of the brake of the heart and allows for blood flow to go to the skeletal muscles, for us to clench our fists, to move kinetically and make contact with something, or to move kinetically away from something. And within that realm, there is a flavor of really wanting to almost like put spikes out to protect ourselves. When those are too strong, then we tend to push people away. However, if we don't have a sense of that within ourselves, if there is not somewhat of a tuning into an ability to tap into aggression or violence or anger when needed, when it's absolutely appropriate, because there are situations where it's absolutely appropriate. And I feel like that's not talked enough about in many education circles, especially when we're dealing with children, young adults, that there is that element of us that is actually really needed in life and to protect ourselves. And with those kinds of actions and behavioral mechanisms, what we are saying is that we are worth protecting, that there is something about us that is worth putting our spikes out or running away from whatever it is that's harming us. And so I just wanted to have that as planting of a seed. I'm going to play with it a lot more. It's definitely in my book. But just thinking about, I think a lot of us talk about compassion and empathy, and these are really important things, and we need to have that. But we also have to, I think, within the realm of social interactions, have some element of tuning into a feeling of power and strength. And that does come from, it can come from like that internal place where we have a lot of self-esteem and a lot of confidence. But part of that has to do with our ability to know that when it's appropriate, when we need to protect ourselves, we do have that ability. And it doesn't always come in that form of the physical kind of boundary, the physical mobilization of getting away or running away, fighting somebody or running away. But it does, when we are in touch with that and we're able to explore that side of ourselves a bit more, I think that actually gives us an emotional strength when it comes to even conversations and interactions, that we know that we have this ability to protect ourselves And with that, I think it actually changes some of the internal algorithms, internal working models, that then get conveyed into our voice, into the voice frequencies, how the muscles of our pharynx and larynx and all of the different muscles that get involved in our voice, how those move, our facial gestures, our posture, how we breathe. So I wanted to just put up a little video because I've been doing some personal security courses lately in self-defense and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it's allowing me to explore aspects of myself that I notice have been missing from my life and are missing from a lot of the psychoeducational, psychotherapeutic kind of realms, because I think that a lot of people have gone through trauma or different kinds of experiences where their boundaries were very, very much violated, whether emotionally, socially, or physically. And so I think that tapping into those elements of ourselves is very important. So I wanted to give that as food for thought, and there will be more to come on that. Thank you.